The rock band Styx really nailed it with their Paradise Theater hit, I've Got Too Much Time on My Hands. And that's where I'm at right now on this journey between retired and rehired. I'm not getting half as much done as I expected back when I was working. And I've also realized that too much free time is really the result of not enough productivity, purpose, or intentionality. So let's go ahead and break that down today. Each night when you look at your calendar and you see all that free time tomorrow, you feel a certain euphoria and you start to think of all the things you could do with that free time that you couldn't do when you were working. You start to make plans for what you might do tomorrow. And it all sounds really good as your head hits the pillow that night. But the reality is when you wake up the next day, you get going and maybe you get a couple of those things done for the first part of the day. Then you make the mistake of sitting down. Maybe it's watching TV, maybe it's reading a book, maybe it's scrolling social media. And this is okay once in a while, but now it turns into day after day, you're not getting things done. You do a couple things, you sit down, suddenly it's dinner time, and the afternoon just disappeared. It's the paradox of having this much free time after layoff, after you've been used to having your days filled with stuff, whether it was by you or by someone else or the combination. Minimally, even if you weren't in meetings in an office all day, you were still blocked out from 9 to 5 or whatever your hours were to do work, to get things done. You had that inherent productivity. And again, it always seemed like if you had this free time, you'd get so much more done. But the reality is you often don't. And you start to feel guilty over not using this time productively because you know there are things you want to accomplish in life and you only have so many days on this earth to get there. To help improve this situation, I've been able to leverage a couple of our family's mantras that we've been living by for decades. The first one is that if it's not on the calendar, it's not going to happen. And we've lived that one time and time again. What we've learned is not only the work stuff goes on the calendar, but the personal stuff too. Sometimes when you get that birthday party invitation and it's 4 weeks out, it's easy to forget about it 4 weeks later. It's easy to realize you need to pick up a gift the weekend before. So we learned putting things on the calendar enhances our productivity, and it also reduces stress because we're not running around at the last minute trying to fix a mistake that we made because we forgot something. One of the things in the getting things done methodology is that keeping too much in your head creates stress. And whether you're trying to maximize your off time during layoff or move toward retirement, you do want to eliminate stress. You do want to create freedom. And ironically, it's the calendar that can provide that structure. So by putting things on the calendar, you're making sure that stuff gets done and you have some warning of what's coming up. The other mantra is, the more free time you have, the less you get done. Again, we've lived this time and time over. You get an off day and you think you're going to get everything done, but just like we were talking about earlier, you really don't. You end up kind of relaxing and talking yourself into it, and all of a sudden, it's nighttime again, and you didn't get anything done. Without bits of structure throughout the day, it's so easy to fall into that relaxation mode, that couch potato mode. And a certain amount of it, again, is healthy, but day after day, you fall into a trap, you develop a new habit, and it's hard to break that habit. So now, when I think about that song, Too Much Time on My Hands, it hits me a little differently. It's easy to see how the main character in the song, how when Tommy Shaw's singing, could just be sitting in that bar day after day, doing the same thing, watching the news, talking to random people next to them, not really accomplishing anything, just having their days go by day after day with no productivity and no purpose and no plan. So the exercise to help us move beyond this, to help us not be sitting at the bar doing nothing, is that each night think about 3 things. One thing you can do for the house, one thing you can do for your body or yourself, and one thing you can do for your future self. So think about those 3 things and put them on your calendar for the next day. Maybe it's as simple as I'm going to go grocery shopping in the morning. When I get back after I unload the groceries, I'm going to take an hour and go for a long walk through the forest preserve. And then I'm either going to practice piano or I'm going to start planning that trip that we want to take to Northern Europe. So think about 3 things that you can put on your calendar each day, just so you know you're moving the chains, you're moving the ball forward each day, and you're closer to accomplishing your goals. The lesson for this week is when time has no boundaries, it doesn't feel like freedom. It feels like fog. You're just going through the fog day after day after day, and nothing's really changing. It's the same thing. You're just in the grayness of life. But once you start breaking out of that and doing things and setting purpose for your life, that's when you really start to experience the third act. So for me this week, yeah, I'm definitely feeling a little more retired, but not always in a relaxing way. I'm still seeking out other employment. However, I'm in the life between retired and rehired and trying to maximize this free time that I have right now, whether it's going to be ongoing or whether it's just temporary before I start working again. There's goals I have and things I want to accomplish, and I want to make sure I move toward those, even if I have to put them on pause again for a while, go back to work, and then pick them up when I finally retire. So join us next week. I'll be covering why I started this YouTube channel and how it fulfills certain needs for me, and I'm going to try and relate that into the needs you have and what hobbies you might want to pick up to help you along on your journey too. As always, thank you for your time. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you.